Hi, everybody, and welcome to our program today. We're going to be talking about how you can have fun in the sun safely with the high heat, high humidity. My name's Marlene. I'm a health coach and a health educator, and welcome to our program. So let me get going down here. There we go. No, there it is. So today we're going to talk about how you can beat the heat. During the summer, the temperature's high, our ground is heating up, so you're getting sun coming down from the top and up from the bottom. In addition, that extra humidity makes it a little harder for your bodies to sweat effectively to cool yourself off. So we're going to talk about some different topics that would come up that you might want to make sure you're covering. Sun protection, how to stay properly hydrated, even nutritionally, what you can do to help yourself in the summer heat, and how to maintain your summer fitness. So the first thing you want to talk about really is sun safety. It's probably one of the most important aspects when it comes to the summer, and that's where the UV index can help. The UV index is basically just a measure that indicates the strength of the UV radiation from the sun at any particular time or place, and it helps you to understand what your risk of exposure is on any given day. It ranges from 0 to 11 plus, and the higher values indicate greater risk, as you can see from the chart here. The information is usually included in weather reports, and it's important to understand because some days, even though they may not look very sunny, can register very high on a UV index. And there are basically two different types of UV radiation. UVA, which is ultraviolet A, that can penetrate the skin more deeply than UVB, and it's present with pretty much equal intensity during all daylight hours throughout the whole course of the year. UVA exposure can contribute to your skin aging, long-term skin damage, and can cause skin cancer over time. And it also penetrates through windows and clouds. So that's the UV that comes through even when the sun's not out. UVB rays are more intense than UVA rays, and they're the primary cause of sunburn. Their intensity varies based on the day, the season, the altitude. UVB can cause direct DNA damage to your skin cells, and it leads to sunburn, plays a key role in developing skin cancer. In New England, the UV index varies throughout the year. So, of course, higher levels are going to be during the summer months, June, July, and August, and lower levels during the winter. So you always want to be cognizant of the UV levels when you're going out. And even in the winter months, the UV index is usually low in the winter, but still during the middle part of the day, no matter what time of year, the sun's rays are strongest. So between the hours of, say, 11:30 and 1:30, regardless of time of year, you want to think about what the UV rays are. And the way to protect yourself from these rays while you're outside is, of course, sunscreen. Sunscreen helps protect your skin from all the harmful effects of UV radiation. And there are two main types of sunscreens based on their active ingredients, either chemical or mineral. Chemical sunscreens will have ingredients like oxybenzone or avobenzone, things like that. These ingredients actually absorb the UV radiation, and then they convert it to heat that is then released from your skin. So chemical sunscreens typically can absorb both UVA and UVB depending on their formulation. The thing with chemical sunscreens is that you have to apply them 15 to 30 minutes before sun exposure to allow for those chemicals to bind to the skin. The other type of sunscreen is mineral sunscreen. Now, these are things that would have ingredients like zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. The minerals sit on the skin surface and they reflect or scatter the UV rays away from your skin. They're generally considered broad spectrum protection against both, broad spectrum meaning it gets both UVA and UVB protection. Mineral sunscreens provide immediate protection when you apply them, and they're less likely to cause any irritation. So they're generally suitable for sensitive skin. When we're talking about sunscreen, we talk about SPF value, SPF 15, 30, 50, they go up pretty high. SPF indicates how long it takes for your skin to burn with sunscreen compared to if you had nothing on your skin. So for example, if you would normally start to see your skin getting sunburned after 10 minutes with an SPF 30, theoretically, it would allow you to stay out for 30 times that 10 or 300 minutes without burning. That being said, if you are sweating or in the water, that's going to come off much faster. So SPF ratings, SPF 15 blocks about 93% of UVB rays. And then when you go up to like an SPF 50, it's about 98%. So the differences aren't that significant, but the difference is in the time it takes for your skin to burn. So higher SPF values will provide slightly more protection, but there really isn't a sunscreen that provides 100%. When in applying sunscreen, you want to make sure you're applying it correctly. They say about a shot glass full will cover your whole body. If you're swimming or sweating a lot, you want to apply more frequently, every 2 hours, immediately after swimming, sweating, or towel drying. You want to cover all your exposed skin. Make sure you're getting those often missed spots like your ears, behind your ears, the back of your neck, back of your knees, top of your feet. And then again, try to find a broad spectrum sunscreen. If you are eco-conscious, they do say mineral-based sunscreens are more eco-friendly. They're better for your ocean. The ingredients, the zinc oxide, titanium dioxides, are considered safer for the marine ecosystems. And some places they recommend or require that you use a mineral sunscreen. So make sure that you're just putting your sunscreen on properly, that you're applying regularly, and you're covering all those spots, because sunscreen is going to help us prevent the sunburn, reduce your skin cancer risk, help with premature aging, keep you, where you prevent that, and help you to maintain even skin tone. You don't get hyperpigmentation that you might get if you're getting a lot of sun exposure. Beyond sunscreen, sun protective clothing is also another option when you're trying to reduce your sun exposure. So UV protective clothing, they have something called the UPF, or the protected factors, protection factor. Generally, what they do, they're designed to block UVA radiation from penetrating the fabric. So they're usually a fabric, it's a very tight knit to create a barrier and reduce the amount of UV radiation that can reach your skin. Some materials like a polyester or lycra or nylon might offer better UV protection than, say, a cotton or a rayon. So you don't want a loose weave, because that's going to allow a lot more of the UVA. And UV absorbing clothing can also be treated with chemicals that can absorb some of the UV radiation. So these treatments they add on during the manufacturing process. So the thing with these clothings, if it's a UPF 15 to 24, good protection, the higher the UPF, the higher the protection against the UV radiation. Usually you want them to be long sleeve, a higher neckline, maybe even a collar, so you're not getting the back of your neck, a hood, and a full-length pant. Usually you're looking at loose fitting garments, because if they're very tight, the weave might stretch and that might allow more sun through. So protective clothing is also another option, although in the heat, sometimes it's hard to think about that. So that's why you want breathable fabrics as well. So beyond the sun protection, one of the other things that we need to think about, I'm just going to shut this chat box for a while so I can see, is hydration. Hydration is so important. Especially during hot weather. It's proper hydration. It's crucial for maintaining your overall health and ensuring that your body continues to function effectively. Our bodies are made up of about 65% water to begin with, and as we're losing it, we need to replenish that to keep all of our organs running properly. It regulates our body temperature. It helps maintain your cardiovascular health. Proper hydration, it supports your heart function. It keeps your blood volume up high. That helps your heart work easier, keeps your joints lubricated, helps with digestion and absorption of all the nutrients. When you're dehydrated, your brain is not working well. Our brain consists of 75% water. So when we're dehydrated, our brains can get a little, slow. So hydration enhances concentration and mental clarity and helps with your skin, protects your organs. Lots and lots of reasons why we want to be staying hydrated, particularly during hot weather, because if we're dehydrated, because our brain and our muscle rely, and our body relies so much on hydration to function, all of our systems, it will find ways to maintain hydration. And that might mean you might stop sweating, even though it's very hot. And if you stop sweating, then you can start overheating, and it can lead to heat exhaustion and other heat issues. So that's important. So when we talk about water, it really is the elixir of life, but elixir of life. I can't say that too quickly. But how much should we be drinking? I mean, I think most of us grew up hearing 8 cups a day is what we needed, but that's not necessarily the exact quotient. Really, for women, it's about 2.7 liters or 9 cups a day as a basis. For men, about 13 cups a day or 3.7 liters. And then on top of that, when we're talking about hot weather, we have to adjust for activity and for climate. So with increased activity, even when it's not hot weather, more water is needed to help keep us hydrated. And higher temperatures and higher humidity levels, it increases our sweat loss. So we have to replace more fluids for that. And then older people, seniors, people who have lowered thirst mechanism, they're even at a greater risk for dehydration issues. So they have to even be more mindful. Specifically, if you're exercising, recommendation is you want to be drinking 16 to 20 ounces at least 4 hours before you exercise. During exercise, 7 to 10 ounces for every 10 to 20 minutes during physical activity, depending on, the weather conditions and how much you're sweating. And after exercise, replenishing by drinking up to 24 ounces of water for every pound of body weight that you would maybe be losing during exercising. So those are your recommendations for water. Ways to keep this going, because just drinking water all day, sometimes it's hard to adjust to, but tips: basically carry a water bottle, set reminders, use an app or an alarm to remind you. Drink before you're thirsty. Thirst is actually a late sign of dehydration. So you want to be drinking water pretty consistently. And then if water's boring, flavor your water with things like fruit or herbs to make it more enjoyable. And electrolyte drinks, things like Noon and IV hydration, whatever, make it taste better. And also, in addition to replenishing the fluid, they're actually replenishing things like potassium and sodium and magnesium, some of the electrolytes that are lost during sweating. So water hydration, really important. But if you don't have to rely solely on drinking water. Eating hydrating foods is another way to be sure that you're getting your hydration. And in the summer, there's a lot of really delicious hydrating foods available. So things like fruits, watermelon, cantaloupe, strawberries, all of these wonderful things. These are fruits and vegetables that are primarily made up of water. But, watermelon is 92% water, celery 95%. So incorporating a lot of these hydrating fruits that are also delicious into your diet during the hot summer times is actually helping you to keep those hydration levels up. Another great thing is also like coconut water. It's an excellent source of electrolytes like potassium, sodium, magnesium. So that's another option. So when we talk about hydrating foods, summertime is such a wonderful time for fruits and vegetables and great hydrating foods. And it's also a great time to just lighten up your meals, because during really hot weather or extreme weather, your body is working harder to regulate your temperature, and that can lead to a decrease in your appetite. So maintaining a lighter diet during the hot weather by incorporating a lot of these really lovely hydrating fruits and vegetables can benefit you in other ways as well. So it can improve your digestion because heavy, rich foods are hard to digest, especially in the heat. So lighter meals are easier on your digestive system. It can increase your energy levels. Eating lighter, nutrient-dense meals provides sustained energy without that sluggishness. Light meals are generally richer in vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. Think about your fruits and vegetables, and that can improve your nutrient absorption and support your overall health. Also helps with weight management, as it involves usually lower calorie intake. So to maintain a good diet in the hot weather, prioritize that fresh produce, opt for lighter protein sources. Fish is a wonderful time, for fish during the summer season, chicken, tofu, legumes. Avoid heavy, greasy foods because these foods are hard to digest and they may make you feel even more sluggish. And then eating smaller portions more frequently can also help you maintain energy levels during the hot weather. So by focusing on these light, nutritious meals, you can stay energized for your fun in the sun and keep your energy levels up. So summer workout safety. So if you are going to be active in the summer, which we all want to be, we want to stay moving. It's beautiful out usually, and we want to get out there. And even during hot weather, it's the time of year you want to be able to enjoy yourself. So staying active during the summer is important, but it requires some adjustments just to ensure your safety and comfort. Beyond protecting your skin and staying hydrated, there's some other things that you can do to stay safe while you're incorporating your fitness into your hot weather. First things first, you want to allow time to acclimate to hotter temperatures. It generally takes our body about 2 weeks to acclimate as the weather starts to turn warmer and warmer. That's why the first day it's hot, you almost feel like, oh my God, it's too much. But over time, you get more adapted to it. So, as your body adapts, your sweat rate actually improves, your blood plasma volume expands and makes it easier for your heart to pump through, and it doesn't work as hard. And your body heats up less over time. So acclimating is a really important thing. That's why athletes will go to the location where they're going to be performing in so they can acclimate it. Scheduling your workouts for cooler times of the day, early mornings, air quality and temperature. Temperature's cooler and air quality is usually better before 10 a.m. So trying to get out if you're an afternoon workout, maybe try to move it to the morning. And then evenings, after the sun's begun to set, generally cools down, say after 6 o'clock. Wearing appropriate clothing. You want lightweight, breathable fabrics. A lot of fabrics made out of moisture wicking, breathable materials to draw that moisture away from your body. You might have to modify your intensity and pace yourself. Start slowly, gradually increase intensity as your body's getting acclimated to the heat. Listen to your body. You want to pay attention to how it feels and adjust your workouts accordingly and take breaks when you need to. And then on really, really poor quality or air quality days or extremely hot days, you might really just need to move your exercise indoors, and whether it's indoors to a gym or in your home or basement, whatever. Make sure you're cooling down properly too. Cooling down properly after you exercise in hot weather is crucial to prevent some heat related illnesses and ensure that your body recovers effectively. When you're thinking about cooling down, you want to slow down gradually and decrease the intensity, perform gentle stretches, and then hydrate properly after workout. That's when you might want to consider consuming a sports drink or an electrolyte infused water. If you've been really heavily sweating, you might need to replace some of those lost salts and minerals and find a cool environment, move to a shaded area or an air-conditioned space, take a cool shower, things like that. And other cooling methods, there's always cooling towels and ice packs, particularly if you start to feel as though you're really suffering. It's good to know, monitoring your body and know the symptoms of being overheated, heat exhaustion, or more significantly heat stroke. So, if you start to get dizzy or faint, heavy sweating, feeling weak, your skin starts to actually feel cold or clammy, your pulse is fast or very weak, feel nauseous, that is signs of heat exhaustion. Move to a cooler place, get water, apply cool, wet cloths. And more importantly, heat stroke, if you really have gotten to a point where you're really sick, your body may not even be sweating anymore. If you stop sweating and you're feeling overheated and there's no sweat coming and your pulse is strong, you might get a headache, nausea, confusion. That's the beginnings of a heat stroke, and you want to call emergency services right away if someone is experiencing those situations, and get them moved to a cool area or start helping to cool them off. So it's important to know that, because it can happen when we're being extremely active in extremely hot and humid weather. But we don't want to be inactive completely. So, what can we do? How can we maintain our summer fitness and stay active, still have fun, and still beat the heat, not be a victim of overheating? Water-based activities are certainly a great way to stay cool while you exercise. Swimming is a fabulous full body workout, provides resistance while it's keeping you cool. So what could be better? You're getting exercise and you're cooling down at the same time. So things like water aerobics, swimming, those kind of things are great. Even if you're walking and you're lucky enough to be near the beach, walking through knee-high water is a great lower leg workout. Kayaking, canoeing, that's great upper body workout, offers a peaceful way, usually out on the water. It's going to be a little bit cooler. Stand-up paddleboarding is a fabulous activity that enhances not only your balance, your core strength, and works your whole body. So finding activities that you love to do that you can do at the pool are great. If not, if you're doing land-based activities, there's still great ways to enjoy that. Walking or jogging, try to maybe choose early morning hours or late evening hours or later in the day hours when it's cooler, or shaded paths or trails to stay cooler. A lot of our national parks have very shaded pathways where you can walk, hike, or jog. And so there are ways to keep up with your regular activity, just moving it to a slightly cooler time of day or cooler location to use. And again, some of the tools that you might keep handy is make sure that your fabrics are lightweight and wicking, so that you're comfortable during your activity. The cooling towels that they sell that you can put around your neck, and making sure you have your hydration. Cycling, you want to, again, ride during cooler times of the day. Lightweight, breathable clothing is essential, staying hydrated. Yoga is a nice lower intensity activity. It's a great activity to take outdoors. You're having the advantage of being out in nature while you're active, while you're doing something really great for both your mind and body. There are a lot of outdoor yoga classes that are offered. So if you'd like to do yoga, if you have your own yoga practice, maybe consider moving that to a shaded outdoor area, or taking an indoor class if you really can't get out of the heat. And consider gentle or restorative yoga to avoid overheating. Body weight exercises or boot camp type things in parks and whatever. I know my boot camps I used to run at 5 o'clock in the morning at a local park, and even on the hottest days, usually it wasn't really hot yet during that time, and if it was, we would try to find a space under a shady tree or something to do our workouts in, versus on the tennis courts where it might be heating up already. So those are places where you can still do those exercises, maybe in shaded areas, or again, if the weather is really just completely uncomfortable, taking it indoors. Hiking, there's as I mentioned, so many beautiful places in New England to do hiking that will allow some canopy with trees and some cover. But again, on really bad days, you want to maybe start out early in the day so you can avoid the peak heat. So, truthfully, by, planning your workouts carefully, timing them well, choosing the right location, choosing appropriate clothing, then add on a sun protection, being mindful of your hydration and your nutrition, you can safely incorporate fitness into your routine and maintain a good fitness program through the summer months. Even during the hottest of hot days. You include water-based and land-based activities, and really maintain your health and fitness. So that is our program on some ways that you can maintain health and fitness. I am going to open up the chat box again here, and we have a few minutes left. So if anybody has any comments, questions, concerns, I'm happy to hang on. And